Hi everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these really cool leaf chains. So for this tutorial I'm just using a chunky, bulky weight yarn. This is a yarn weight of 5, but you can use any yarn that you like. The technique works the same. With that I happen to be using a 6mm crochet hook, and if you want to know what you could use these for, you can make these into a bracelet, you could make them for edging on a blanket, you could have them just as to go with artificial plants, crochet plants that you're making. There's lots of options, bookmarks and all sorts of things. So let's crack on, shall we? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a slip knot. So let's make our slip knot, and we're going to chain 3 to begin. So chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to work a double crochet. So this pattern's in US terminology. So in UK terms, that's going to be a treble. So we're going to yarn over and put our hook into the first chain. Bring the yarn through and work a double crochet. So pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do is start making our first leaf shape. So we're going to yarn over, and we want to go in between our chains and our double crochet. So find the gap in between and put our hook into there. We're going to bring the yarn through and just bring up a little loop like that. So you've got 3 loops here. I'm going to do that 4 more times in between these 2 stitches, between the chains and the double crochet. So we yarn over again, go back into the gap, bring up a loop. Do that 3 more times, yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. Twice more, yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. Once more, yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. Okay, now we're going to do it 1 more time, but we're going to do it in the first chain. So yarn over into the first chain instead and bring up a loop. And you should have a ton of loops on here. I don't know how many exactly you have, but what we want to do now is divide them up into groups of 3. And they can be a little bit difficult to see, so what we want to do is find these longer ones here, and these will be our guides. So the first thing to do though is yarn over, and we're going to pull through 3 loops. So look for this long loop here and pull through that first loop, pull through that little second loop, then pull through that big long loop. Okay, and there's going to be a loop hidden underneath that long one, so you want to make sure you come out in front of that. I'm going to do that all the way across. So we're going to yarn over again, come through that first loop, come through that little loop, and then come through that long loop. Be careful not to come under that little loop there. Okay, and do that all the way across. So yarn over through the first loop, that little loop, and that long loop. Okay, be careful not to come up under the little loop underneath. Yarn over again through 1, 2, and that big loop. Okay, again through 1, 2, and the big loop. So you can see there's like a little loop hidden underneath. You really want to come up in front of that. Then at the end you've got 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so it should look like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and turn and do the exact same thing on the other side. So we yarn over, go into the gap between all these stitches and these chains, and bring up a loop. Do that 4 more times. Yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. Yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. Twice more, yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. 1 more time, yarn over, into the gap, bring up a loop. And then we want to do it 1 more time, but into that first chain instead. Bring up a loop. Okay, and then we do the same thing again. So we yarn over, pull through 3, and look for that long loop there. So 1, 2, 3. Yarn over into 1, 2, 3. It's very easy to come under the loop that's hidden underneath. So 1, 2, 3, and do that all the way across. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. That's our first petal created. So for our next one, we just do the same thing again. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work a double crochet or treble in UK terms in that first chain. So we go into that first chain, bring up a loop, don't bring up a loop, work a double crochet, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, and then we do the same thing again. We yarn over, go in between the chains and the double crochet, and bring up a loop, and do that 4 more times. Yarn over into the gap, bring up a loop, 3 more times. And once more. And then the very last one, we yarn over and go into that first chain again, bring up a loop, and then we do the same thing again. So we look for these long loops here and pull through 3. So 1, 2, 3. Be careful not to come onto that little one hidden underneath. Again, 1, 2, 3. And do that all the way to the end. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we chain 1 and turn and do the same thing the other side. So yarn over into the gap, bring up a loop, do that 4 more times. Yarn over to the gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we do the last one in that chain 1 again here. And there we go. Then we yarn over, pull through 3 till we get to the end. 3, yarn over, 3, yarn over, pull through 3, all the way to the end. And there we go. There is our second leaf created. So I'll show you one more time and put it to some music, and hopefully you got the general idea of how to work this beautiful stitch. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. There is our third leaf created, and you can just continue for as long as you like, making as many leaves as you like. And like I said, this works with all types of yarn, all weights of yarn and hook sizes. So have a good play and let me know what you would make with this beautiful design, and I will see you soon for some more crochet crafting fun. Thanks for watching, guys. A huge thank you as always to my Happy Berry Plus subscription, monthly subscription members who get to enjoy my podcast, behind the scenes vlog, and digital crocheting magazine, exclusive patterns, and so much more. So without those guys, these types of videos would not be possible. So a huge thank you to you, and yeah, do check out my monthly subscription to help support free content and enjoy lots of exclusive benefits. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.